Namaskar. This video is about how to make good decisions, proper decisions in life. Life is full of decisions. Every day we decide in something. We are moving on the path. There are some crossroads, left or right or straight. Where should I go? So each time you're at the crossroads, you make a decision. To progress in life, two things are necessary: wisdom and energy. And that wisdom is always necessary. And we always lack that kind of wisdom, especially in difficult circumstances, especially when we are under stress, especially when a lot at stake, then wisdom fails. It goes somewhere, and I just don't know what to do. One time I read a story about two monks. Guru sent them to one particular city. In that city, somebody captured our school, our property. Captured and declared this is our property. So the two monks went there to try to retrieve that property. And some city in India. So they went to many lawyers. And the lawyers, they belonged to the same caste as the captors, as our robbers, no? The people who have captured the property from us. So these lawyers, because they are part of the same community, they wouldn't go to the court against their own people. So, and all the lawyers in that city, they belonged to that particular caste. So they were going and going and going, and the whole day there is no progress. And they start to get a little bit desperate, a little bit frustrated. And then one monk, he said, once I realized that we reached the dead end, we are moving nowhere from this place, I immediately surrendered mentally, in my mind. I surrendered to God. And then he said, after that, tiny little idea came into my mind that, oh, maybe we should go to that person. And then they went to that person, and then he was follower of Islam, he was Muslim, he has nothing to do with the caste systems. And then he said, yes, I will help you. I will fight for you. You will get back your property. So he fought for them. They got back their property. So that's a very simple story. But I was very touched with this idea that when the situation becomes dire, when the situation becomes difficult, what do? You surrender to the Supreme. You know this philosophy. Reality is composed of Shiva and Shakti, cognition and energy. And that Shiva and Shakti together, they constitute cosmic consciousness. And everything in the world is a form of cosmic consciousness. So Shiva, Purusha, consciousness, these are the name for the cognition. And Prakriti, Shakti, and also one very interesting name, very peculiar name. One name is Maya, the force capable of creating illusion. So that illusory force in us manifests as I want, I don't want, I like, I don't like, I'm afraid, I'm not afraid. So those inner emotions cloud our judgment. The Maya, the force of illusion, creates different phantoms in our imaginations. Oh, this is so very important. I must have it. So just like a butterfly, you go into the light and burn yourself there. You make bad decision. So to overcome Maya, it is in Bhagavad Gita, very important scripture. It is said, Daivihesha gunamaya, mama maya duratya. Mam eva je prapadyanте mayamitam tarantite. Krishna representing in that case. He was the guru of the past, he was the great personality of the past, and he is a symbol of the cosmic consciousness. So he's saying, my force of illusion, my divine force of illusion, made of 3 attributes, sattva guna, raja guna, and tama guna, is super powerful. You cannot surmount, you cannot overcome it, you cannot overpower by your own force, because you are Maya. you are intrinsically, you are made by Maya. You are Maya. So how you can overcome yourself? You cannot overcome yourself. So then he says, Mam eva je prapadyante, the one who surrenders to me, to consciousness, Maya nitam tarantite, overcomes Maya with my help, by my grace. So, simple idea is this, that in any difficult situation, you surrender to God. In whatever way you imagine God, in whatever way you understand God, or the higher force, you just surrender to that. In Christianity, the most important prayer, it's called God's Prayer, and it is said, Thy will be done. Let your will be done, not mine. So I let go of my want. I don't want. I'm ready for any kind of outcome. I want to be a tool. I want to be a conductor of the divine. So that is one thing. That is one story. Another thing is, I asked one of our senior teachers, the time he was alive, and people say that he is kind of enlightened because he was going into samadhi, into trance every day, basically. And I got also very impression about him. So we were sitting in his house, and this question was asked. How to take proper decisions? I think even maybe myself I asked that question because I was in dilemma, what to do, what not to do. So he answered like this. He said, you focus your mind on the Supreme. You achieve the state of unity with God. Try to, with your love, with your desire to unite, try to mentally unite with Him. And then follow your intuition, follow your rationality. Let your rationality guide you. Your mind will guide you, but that mind will be guided by the intuition, by the Supreme Force. And you will find the way. You will be surprised, you will find the way. Everything will be good. Everything will be proper. That was easy. Looks like easy. And it is working. I'm using it, I'm practicing it. Actually, like when I'm recording the videos, sometimes I don't know what to say because so many videos already recorded. So what I do, I think about God, of consciousness. I meditate. And then I open my mouth, then something comes out. Then my own intellect, it works, but somehow it works in unusual way. It just flows. Things are coming there. I don't know from where they come. Just coming and I'm speaking. Once the video is complete, I am myself surprised. Wow, what was that? How did it come? So this is the power of that advice. So if you have a mantra, personal mantra, or universal mantra, just say, Baba, Nam, Kira. Feel the sweetness of that. Feel you, let your heart open. Feel that you are embracing the divine. And you're one with the divine. And then do what you need to do. Do guided by your rationality. Everything will be proper. Another one. I asked one Dada, one senior teacher of meditation. I was that time in dilemma. What to do? What path should I follow? This path or that path? I asked Dada, if I don't know what to do, what to do? I will speak with this group of people, and what they say is perfectly logical and good. I speak with another group of people, what they say is perfectly logical and good, but they say opposite things to each other. I get so confused. I get lost what to do, what not to do. So how to know what to do? He said, the Guru gives us discipline, the routine to follow, different conduct rules to follow. So if you follow that, it means you are submitting already to the divine will. Through the Guru, it's the consciousness teaching you these things. So you are following the will of the consciousness. You are following Yama Niyama, you are doing meditation, this and that. It's not like your animal instincts pushing you to do that. Rather, you're overcoming your laziness, your fear, your instincts to follow that kind of spiritual lifestyle. So you discipline yourself. For example, you want to eat chocolate. Why not? But for the monk, it is not permitted. So you don't eat. Maybe chocolate will not harm you so much, but still you don't eat. Why? Because in that way, you discipline your mind. And when your mind is disciplined, when your mind is accustomed to flow in parallelism with unison with the divine, then when you don't know what to do, you know what to do. So you have to start training yourself today, not when there is a difficult situation. From this moment, you discipline your mind. And the disciplined mind always will be guided by the Supreme Force. I was very impressed with that answer. I liked that answer. And then, to my best ability, I tried to fulfill that answer. So, and it is a beautiful thing when the divine will guides you. This world, this universe is called Liilá, or divine play. And there are two high states. One is called Lilananda, one is called Nityananda. Lilananda, when you are constantly guided by the divine will, you become spontaneous. You know, you flow with the will, with the volition of the Supreme. And you become blissful. And you perceive everything is blissful. So this state where you perceive the divine everywhere and that the divine is guiding you is called Lilananda, or the enjoyment, the joy, the bliss of the divine game. And then once you are there in that state of Lilananda and you are seeing more and more essence of things and less the form of things, then one day you achieve the state of Nityananda, the state of eternal consciousness, where there is nothing, no form, no vision, no color, no nothing, just a pure cosmic bliss. So, yeah. In that, the surrender to the Supreme plays very important role. When you surrender, you become the media, you become the conductor of the Supreme Force. I remember one story, it's maybe not so relative to this, not so relevant to this particular point I'm making. Little bit related. There was some kind of symposium of religions, and monks are discussing which monk is the most intellectual and who can represent better. And the Guru was not happy with any proposition. He said, "Send my cook, he will go." And nobody wants to argue with Guru, but everybody is just like, "Oh my God, what is this? Why he's saying like this?" Because the cook, he doesn't even speak proper Hindi. He doesn't speak anything. He's completely unintellectual. But he's, full of love, and he's spiritual man, and he's meditator. So anyway, Guru said they sent him. So he went there to that symposium. So he comes in front of intellectuals, and then he's just like, "Pavanam Kevalam!" And then he meets, such a wave of happiness, such a wave of bliss. So several people, they went into the state of trance. They didn't know anything about yoga, nothing. They never experienced this kind of state. They flipped. It's just like tsunami of spirituality goes, and then pa! So they become overwhelmed with that energy. They went into the state of trance, into the state of samadhi. And then everybody was like, what is this? What was that? That looks like a real living spirituality. We came here to discuss philosophy, but what is this philosophy for? If there is this wave of spirituality, so many people, they took initiation. So sometimes, not sometimes, always actually, when you are able to really completely place yourself at the feet of the divine, to surrender yourself, then the magic starts to work. So 3 things. In every difficult situation, first, surrender to the divine. Let thy will be done. Second, first concentrate on the divine. Achieve the unity, emotional, spiritual unity. Repeat the mantra, unite with the divine. And the third, cultivate the discipline. So, in the situation when you don't know what to do, you will know what to do. Namaskar. Dear friends, because of your donations and contributions and support, our project can grow. I am able to record the useful videos about spirituality, meditation, inspiration, etc. Those who want to support us, you can find the link in the description of this video. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you very much.